Welcome to Grow, Cook, Eat, Arrange, the podcast of me, Sarah Raven, and roving guests. Today, I'm on my own again for episode 3 of our mini-series on floristry and using the lovely backdrop that's Perch Hill and all the flowers that we can pick from here and showing you, I hope, interesting ways of how to arrange with them. Things that I do in my life every day, really, so I just almost don't need to think about them. So today's episode is a hand-tied bunch. Now, lots of people, and if you look online, a lot of people will teach you how to make a hand-tied bunch in a very neat spiral. And they are very neat and kind of nifty and clever in a way, but actually I find them very difficult to teach to a beginner, or quite difficult. And do you know what? I have quite small hands, and quite a lot of women have quite small hands. And I find my system, which I'm going to teach you, easier to do if you have small hands. And so rather than having that neat grid, adding stem by stem of different ingredients, what I do is I gather together a bunch of something that is really quite kind of branchy, like that. And this is the most wonderful pelargonium called Attar of Roses. And it's used very widely in the perfume industry because it's got this amazing rose geranium fragrance. It smells like kind of bath oil. It's completely delicious. We use it a huge amount here in flower arranging and also in the kitchen because we make a cordial and we pick loads and loads of the leaves. We put them in boiling water, boil them for 10 minutes and then leave them to steep overnight. And then we add lots of fresh lemon juice and some sugar syrup. And we then pour it into empty sterilised milk bottles or milk cartons and freeze it in batches. Anyway, many, many uses of the pelargonium, and particularly this one. So what I want to just show you is by lacing together in my hand a few stems of this pelargonium, what you get is almost like sort of scaffolding or a net into which, almost like chicken wire in your hand, into which you can drop other things. And it smells delicious, but actually it's just forming the structure of the arrangement. And so can you see how easy that is? So I've got a neat roundish circle, not perfectly round, doesn't matter, but it's a plateau into which I can just drop everything else. And so it's like I don't have to get stressed about holding every single stem, which you do with the spiral. So then I'm going to show you what I mean. So this is the pelargonium Attar of Roses, and then here I've got a spearmint. And again, if you crush the stems, you get the lovely fragrance, of course, minty fragrance. This is actually an apple mint, so it's kind of slightly furry. And what I've got from the pelargonium is the sort of heart foliage. And then by adding the mint, I've got a horizon. And every arrangement I make, I don't want it to be dumpy and all too flat. And I don't want it to be too rangy and kind of all about horizon. If you have a heart and a horizon, you have the solidity and the structure to be easy on the eye, but also nice rhythm and shape and architecture, a silhouette, which is what the upper story does. So that's exactly what you've got with those two aromatic herbs. So pelargonium and the mint. So I'm just going to ease them in. Okay, so 2 foliages. Next, my third foliage is a new amaranth called Myra, and we rather love it. It looks almost like Christmas baubles, and we've got it on trial this year, and it'll be in seeds 2026 because we trial things so far ahead here. But do you see what I mean about Christmas baubles? I mean, isn't that crazy? So I'm pretty much adding that around the outside, but some I'm just going to... Now, this is what I mean about the structure. So if I actually turn it around, maybe it'll be clearer. So what I can do is I drop in from the top, and I just need to catch one or other stem on the outside. And then it holds it without me even having to. Do you see what I mean? Can you see that? So it holds it, and that's the beauty of this style of threading from the top rather than adding in a spiral around the outside, which is much more difficult because you have to hold it much more tightly. So that's my foliage base in place of my hand tied. I'm not going to get too big because I want to take this to a friend, and I'll just kind of make sure I'm happy with the levels, and I've got a heart and a horizon. Okay, 3 foliage, now on to 3 flowers. So just as in all my arrangements, I tend to use a bride-bridesmaid-gatecrasher in a bigger mixed arrangement. If I'm doing something really simple, I might just do a bride and a gatecrasher. So I might just do 1 flower and then something with a contrasting colour. But with a bigger mixed arrangement, I tend to do bride-bridesmaid-gatecrasher. So the bride here is the most wonderful dahlia that we really love here, which is pretty new, called Night Silence. And these are shorter stems. So I'm just pulling those into the heart of the arrangement because I want everything, of course, to be in the water. So I just make sure I'm using the shorter stems in the sensible place, which is in the heart. And then the longer stems, so this is really quite short, this one. So this can just tuck in behind a couple of stems there, and as long as I then add it into my hand, that's completely fine. Medium length, so that can just tuck in here. Now, can you see what I mean? Again, sorry to bang on about it, but I'm just threading them into the structure, and the structure holds them. That's the beauty of this system. Nice tall one. So even though that's going right into the middle of the arrangement, can you see it then comes out at the side like that, and then I thread it into my hand. And as long as it just tucks into my hand, I know that then if I cut all the stems at the end, they will all be in water. So that has come out here, but I just ease it into my hand like that. Another one coming out over here, easing that into my hand there. Another one here, right in the middle, coming out there, easing that into my hand there. So I've now got a heart and a horizon, and then I can just slot these around the outside, but they must tuck into my hand because otherwise I'm going to drop them. So that one, which is quite short, I'm just tucking that behind that pelargonium, and that's enough of a scaffolding. Okay. So that's my bride. Bridesmaid is a zinnia called Queenie Red Lime. And the thing I love about it is it has some that come up that are almost pure lime, like this. A little, so really limey. But some are halfway. Let me find oh, there's one. So that's also the same variety, Queenie Red Lime, but it's green and red, and then some are pretty much just red. And that's the beauty. In one bunch of flowers, you get that mix of colours. Same system, just tucking into one stem. And then, can you see all those zinnias? I'll deal with him in a minute. Have come out here, and then I just, every so often, I just add them into my hand. So at this stage, I'm not having to collect every single stem every time. I'm really just chucking them in. Relatively even, nothing perfect. And then I gather them up like that. And then I'll deal with this, which I think has got, oh no, maybe it hasn't got bruised. And it's so loose, I don't have to really sort of I don't have a difficulty getting them in. It's really loose in my hand, so it's really easy. So can you see how loose it is? I can't hold the whole thing, but it's all netted together in a brilliant way. So final flower is my gatecrasher, and to be honest, it's quite a polite one, really. It's definitely in a ball dress. So this is Hydrangea Whims Red, and I'm just tucking that in because I don't want to have to hold it, just around the outside, just to add a little bit of looseness and loveliness to the hand tide. But this one I'm going to put right in the heart, down in there, to balance it. There we are. And then final ingredient, just to give movement and a really wonderful light horizon, is one of our favourite grasses called Panicum Frosted Explosion or Sparkling Fountain. It's known by two names. And leave that one really... Where's that stem? If you can't find a stem, you just pull it up and down and then it'll tell you where it is. And so I've got 5 of those. I'm not going to add them absolutely perfectly symmetrically, but nice and relaxed. And there we are. Hand-tied bunch. And then I love stringing a ting because it means you don't get in a knot. So give yourself a generous amount of string. Now, this is really important. Concentrate. So, loop, 2 cut ends. Gather the stems together. Loop, in the mouth. There's the loop there. 2 cut ends there. They go through the loop like that. And then one can go one way and one can go the other way. And very quickly, you've got a taut string around the arrangement. Then you can lie it down on the table and you just then go round and round and round. Don't pull it really tight, but tighten it a bit. And then round and round. And then tie it off. Just like that. And then you can do ribbon if you want. And then what you want to do is you just get the rule of averages. So most of my stems end there, or about there. And it's important to think here, if you've seared anything, am I cutting the seared stem ends off? Because if you've seared, rested overnight, and then you're arranging, they should be fine. But there are a few things like euphorbias that if you're cutting the entire seared length off, you will need to re-sear. So sometimes, particularly in the spring, where I'm searing much more than I am in the late summer and autumn, because they've freshly grown, like euphorbias, if I cut the seared stem end off, I would re-sear just the whole bunch. So I would just, tuck it into a jug of boiling water, just for 5 or 10 seconds, and then into cold water to stop it cooking. But that's just worth bearing in mind. And then you can just clear away the debris and it should stay up. So you've got your dingly-dangly bits of amaranth, your cascading firework bits of the panicum, and hopefully you can see you've got Bride, Dahlia Night Silence, Bridesmaid, the zinnia, and a sort of very gentle gatecrasher, which is Hydrangea Whims Red. And then if I'm going to friends for dinner, I might give them a vase as well. So you can just pop it in a vase. And then when you give it to your friend, encourage them to untie the knot. Because otherwise it's a bit like too much hairspray coming out of the hairdresser. It's all a bit too tight. So you then just want to loosen it and then just sort of zhuzh it a little bit. And before you leave, always just go around the front if you've given it as a present and just make sure you're happy with the overall structure. And yeah. there we are. Hand-tied bunch done with the structure of the primary foliage being almost like the chicken wire, the scaffolding, rather than that spiral technique. So much easier to master, particularly if you have small hands.